Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. I've got card number 3 in our sweet ice cream Stamp-A-Stack video series for you. You're jumping in this video, you're in the third video of 3. There's links below to get you back to card 2 out of 3, where we made this adorable thank you card, and card 1 out of 3, where we made You Melt My Heart. Now the Stamp-A-Stack as designed makes 7 cards. 3, You Melt My Heart, 2 of the thank you design, and 2 of this happy birthday design that we're going to do here today. You can do this class, follow right along on the blog here with your own materials, or if you're interested and there's still supply, we have a sweet ice cream Stamp-A-Stack packet. The Stamp-A-Stack packet includes a quarter package of the Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper, a quarter package of the Ice Cream Corner sprinkles, a third of a roll of the Sheer Pool Party ribbon. It also includes the white cardstock that you need for your stamped images, envelopes for your cards, all the cardstock pieces die cut for you. We're going to start this card with some Pear Pizzazz. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. This is our card base. Let's go ahead and run a Bowman folder and get these folded. Now for our awesome background, do you see this soft seafoam with the stitching? We're going to make that panel next. If you're following along, you don't have the kit, these are 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 soft seafoam cardstock. We're going to stamp it using the Stitchery stamp set. I love this stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's an 8-piece rubber stamp set that can be used as individual pieces. These are awesome accents. This is the little detail. When you look at a card and you say, oh, it just needs a little something, you'll grab for the Stitchery set all the time. We're gonna do this card, putting all the stamps, all 8 of them, on the Stamparatus. Then we're gonna drop our background in. And what we want to do is line up so that one of the stitches goes all the way across the very top of our panel. We lined up our stitches and then stamped them on the grid paper so that we can see where the stitches start and stop and where they fall. We're going to drop that guy in there. We're using the grid paper to make sure that our stitches don't go uphill or downhill. Go ahead and ink up our Stitchery stamps with Pear Pizzazz ink. You can kind of skip the very top and bottom row of stitches because for this landscape orientation, we're not going to get to that top stitch in this first stamping. All right, now we'll just flip the lid and stamp our pattern. We're going to carefully lift in case we need to go back and put any more ink down. That looks pretty good. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip this pattern. I'm going to line it up again, but this time I'm going to line it up so that each of the stitches runs through the opening that's left between the stitches. And you can tell that because you can see the very ends, and you just want to make sure that it's going to hit in that alternating space. The other thing that you can do here is when you go ahead to flip your when you flip your plate, you're going to just kind of approach slowly and make sure that you like where the stitches line up. All right, so we're going to take that slow. We're going to look through the plate and make sure that we're not stamping over the existing stitch line. So you can see in between each of the stitch stamps where the previous stitching was. And now we've got a really cool background, don't you think? All right, let me do the other one so we can catch up. The class packet makes 2, so I'm going to make 2. And I'll meet you right back here. All right, there they are. Let's go ahead and adhere them to the card bases. Now I'm just going to use multi-purpose liquid glue here. Looks great. Now, the next step is our designer series paper. You're joining us in video number 3, which means that we've already cut our designer series paper. When we do these Stamp stacks, we often use the kitchen table Stamper Wonder recipes. We cut 3 pieces of designer series paper, one of each pattern, according to the Wonder recipe number 12. So we're taking the 2x3 pieces that this Wonder recipe yielded, and we're going to adhere them to the front of our card. When you cut 3 pieces, 3 different patterns, according to the recipe, you'll get 7 cards. That's the fun part about the Wonder recipe. Now this cone pattern is ice cream on one side and the cone pattern on the other side. So you can take a little look and see which one you want to be the ice cream cones and which one you want to be the cone pattern. Kind of base it on what shows. There's our designer series paper. Let's do that for the other card now. When you get the card kits, we do the die cutting for you. So if you're stamping along with us and doing your own materials, you'll want to cut 2 of basic white, this tag. Let me show you. This is that second largest of the tailor-made tags with the clipped corners. It's about 3 5/16 by 1 9/16. And we've also cut from terracotta tile. If you don't have terracotta tile, I know it's retired, you can use Calypso Coral. It'll work. It's a little D-reinforcer from the tailor-made tags. Let's assemble our tags. We're going to put the little reinforcer around the hole at the top of the tag. Just a little dab of multi-purpose liquid glue here will do. Now let's go back to the card kit here and grab our ribbon. We're going to slide in from front to back, and then I pull a length that's about palm to the tip of my middle finger, fold up from the front over the top, tuck into that open space, swoop, pull, and we can hold the knot in the center, finesse, get the bow the right size. Isn't that pretty ribbon? I thought it was kind of frosty, kind of perfect with ice cream. All right, let's trim away from the spool, and then we can correct the angle on that side. There we go. Let me catch up our second project. Do another bow real quick. All right, our bows are done, and you'll see when you're done with the class pack, you'll have some ribbon to play with. Let's go ahead and adhere our tags to the card fronts. Again, I'm going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to put them down a little bit left of center, and then pretty well centered top to bottom. All right, time to get stampy. I'm going to grab some ink pads and a Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to start with the scoops. I've got Blackberry Bliss and Highland Heather. That'll make our purple scoop. Pear Pizzazz for our green scoop, and Calypso Coral for our red scoop. I took some of the half sheets of cardstock from the kit and cut 1 3/4 inch strips, which makes it really easy to stamp your sweet ice cream images, the scoop and the cone, and then feed them into the punch from one side or the other, depending on if you're making scoops or cones. All right, so let me show you this. I've already got one of the purple scoops. I had an extra, so I'm just going to do one. We need some scratch paper to stamp off. I've got my mini grid paper right here. We're going to go ahead and ink the scoop. This is Highland Heather. We'll stamp off and then stamp our scoop, second generation, on the white scraps. You want the scallops of your scoop to face the outside of the strip for easiest punching. Then we're going to decorate that scoop with some rich raspberry or blackberry bliss speckles. All right, now I'm gonna switch colors here. Let me get my chamois and clean the ink. We're gonna do the same thing for 2 coral scoops and 2 pear pizzazz scoops. We'll take our pear pizzazz, stamp off, stamp our scoop, and then our speckles. There's the detail. Looking good, huh? All right. Now we can wipe the stamp again, and we're gonna switch to coral. I like to do the Calypso Coral last. The warm pigments in the coral ink are a little more stubborn than the cool pigments in the greens and blues. So we're gonna move from cool to warm, cleaning our stamp each time, and that will keep our ink pads from being contaminated. All right, that's Calypso Coral. Stamp off and stamp, and then details. We'll flip and do one more. All right, there's our scoops. Let's change ink pads, and we're gonna work on the cones and the sentiments. All right, I've got cinnamon cider and soft suede for our happy birthday greeting. Oh, it's got to be a tight squeeze in there. Let's get a clean piece. And we're going to do happy birthday and cinnamon cider. And we need 2 times, 1 for each card. Let's see if we can put them both on the same paper. We're gonna bubble cut these, so it's okay if we get them a little close. There's our happy birthdays. Now our cone, we wanna take a look at the punch and make sure that we punch with the right orientation, or we stamp with the right orientation. It saves so much time and so much effort, cinnamon cider stamp off, if you compare the punch and then stamp accordingly. So we're gonna do upside down with a little tilt. That's one cone. The details for the cone are going to go soft suede, full strength over the top. And then, let's see here, got another little scrap here that should be fine for a cone. Let's do a second one. We're going to punch all of our scoops and cones, bubble cut our greetings. Let me clear these ink pads away. So each of the scoops is going to go in from the right side of the punch and have easy access. There's our scoops. We'll punch them all out. And then our cones will go from the left side of the punch. We stamped them upside down and a little tilty so they get in there real easy. All right, I'm going to punch out the rest of these, and then I'm going to bubble cut the greeting. So just take scissors, cut these 2 apart, then we'll cut the words apart, and then just feeding the word into the scissor. So you roll the word with your non-dominant hand while your dominant hand just opens and closes the scissors. I was not a fan of this very trendy thing until it was the perfect way to stack the sentiments from Sweet Ice Cream. I was having some trouble. I was designing this card. The greetings, happy birthday and thank you, are both long greetings, and the designs that these cards were lending themselves to needed stacked sentiments. And so here I am now doing the bubble cut sentiment. I think, converted on this technique. It's super trendy. Everybody's doing it. And for these cards, it's perfectly gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and trim these guys out, finish punching, and I'll meet you back here. We'll get this card wrapped up. I'm back. I've done all my fussy cutting and punching. I've gone ahead with this card and added my cone and my sentiment. Let's get this one caught up. We're gonna do our ice cream cone and then add our scoops. The first scoop gets just a little bit, the tiniest little dab of multi-purpose liquid glue on the scallops. And then you glue those scallops to the cone. Next up, scoop, and then the scoop gets a strip on the scallops. Add a scoop. And then our third and final scoop. Now everything gets dimensional, so let's go ahead and add some to our happy birthday. And the B is going to go over the cone just a little bit on our card. So just avoid that very edge of the B in birthday. But let's get some dimensionals on our sentiment here. And then on the back of our cone, I like to use the dimensionals to kind of reinforce the bond between the scoops. So I'll put a big dimensional there, and then where the cone meets the first scoop, then I'll support the end of the cone and then kind of triangle from there and support where the first and second scoop come together. Let's peel all the backing and get these things adhered to the card front. All right, first our cone, and it's going to go kind of up against the reinforcer. A little bit of an angle is kind of cute if you want to go for that. Then birthday is going to go over the cone just a bit. And happy. I don't burnish anything down too hard until I know I'm going to like the placement of everything. Once I've got it where I like the placement of everything, then I'll go ahead and pat it down. So cute. All right, here's happy birthday. And then I rearranged the order of the scoops. Pretty cool. All right, this is our card. This is our card embellished with those amazing ice cream corner sprinkles. Now, this process you can do with or without because it is a little bit fiddly. You've got all the ice cream corner sprinkles, and I think they're so worth it for what they do for the overall look of the card. So what I'll do is I'll open my bag and pour some out. And then I've got my take your pick tool and paper snips, multi-purpose liquid glue. All right, I'm going to take my card. Let's do one. I can do the other one after. So the sprinkles, I think, make such a huge difference. I'm going to take and add, say, 5 to 7 sprinkles going up from happy and down from birthday. What I'll do is first I'll come in and add little dots of multi-purpose liquid glue. So we're going to go with 7 over here. Then I'll pick up the sprinkle using my dominant hand on the take your pick tool. My non-dominant hand, I got the scissor, and I just use the tip of the scissor to push the sprinkle into the glue and pull the take your pick tool away. And so it's a bit of a process. It takes a little bit of coordination and time, but boy, are they adorable. So I've done about 7 sprinkles up from happy, and then down from birthday, I'll do 5. I like to do odd numbers. I'm going to get these and catch our second copy up. I'm going to finish these up, add some sprinkles to this one, and I'll meet you right back here. All right, there's our last one. Aren't they so sweet? Happy birthday. That says happy birthday, doesn't it? All right. If you've got any questions about the class, you can email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com to see if there are class packets left. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. Now you can see after we're done with the cards, you'll have some white cardstock. This can be used to line your cinnamon cider card or for whatever you like. But with the cinnamon cider, it might be a little dark and you want to add a liner. So there's extra white cardstock. There's lots of the designer series paper left for you to play with. And that's gorgeous. And then there's plenty of coordinating ribbon and sprinkles left. kitchentablestamper.com/shop is where you'll find the kit. To shop Stampin' Up 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. If there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, please reach out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.